Hello, my name is Madeline, and welcome to this grounding yin yoga practice to help calm the nervous system. So, today we'll be doing some gentle hip opening, we'll have some opening in the spine, and also some gentle heart opening, all hoping to help relax and calm the nervous system. So, let's get into it. And let's get started with some breath to really ground into the space. So you can exhale all the air out now. We'll be taking 3 deep breaths. Taking a deep inhale through the nose, long sigh out the mouth. Another inhale through the nose. Long sigh out the mouth. And this time we'll hold the breath at the top for 4 seconds. So taking that deep inhale once again and holding at the top for 2, 3, 4. Exhale out the mouth. Big sigh. And we'll do a little bit of movement before we get into some of the yin poses. So we'll start with some seated cat-cows. You can place the hands on the knees. And then as you inhale, arch the spine up to the sky. And as you exhale, rounding the back. And you can continue like that, or take any fluid movement that feels good in the body. So maybe you want to take some circles, maybe pause in any areas of tension or tightness. And just notice where you're at today. Notice how you're feeling in your body. Notice how you're feeling emotionally and mentally. And just observe. And return back to center whenever you're ready. And we'll get into our first yin pose, which is going to be a butterfly pose. So take the soles of the feet, put them together so you have a diamond-like shape in the legs. And you can have those feet as close to you as you like or as far forward as you like. But try to find a place where you can be still. And if this is enough, that's great. If you want to go further, you can start to fold forward towards those feet. Really dropping the head and rounding and softening the spine. If you have blocks, and you don't need them for this practice, but if you do, you can place them underneath your knees if that feels good. Or option to place a block between those feet and rest the forehead on the block. It can feel really grounding to have a place to rest your forehead on. So just find a position that works for you and settle into the pose. Remember to breathe deeply here. each breath, softening a bit deeper into the pose. And slowly, whenever you're ready, begin to roll back up, taking your time as you straighten the spine. Remove any props you are using and gently place those hands outside the knees and bring those knees together. Maybe here, taking a couple windshield wipers, bring the hands behind you and rocking a couple times, side to side. So you're getting a little twist in that spine. Going as fast or as slow as you like. And once you're feeling content, return back to center and then straighten those legs out in front of you. We're going to move into a half butterfly pose. So grab the sole of that right foot and place it along the left thigh. So you have this triangle tree-like shape here. And look forward towards that left foot and start to crawl over and down that left leg as much as you can or as much as you like. It doesn't have to be far at all. Option to grab hold of the foot if that feels good, or place the hands alongside the leg. And let that head drop down. So you should really feel an opening in that left hamstring and also along the spine. And breathe deeply. And slowly begin to crawl those fingertips back up the leg. Keep those legs in this half butterfly position, and we're going to do a little counter twist. So bring the left hand to the right knee, bring the right fingertips behind you, and just look over that right shoulder. Taking deep breaths here as we pause for a couple moments. And gently let that go, looking forward and releasing that right leg back out to meet the left. Again, maybe you want to take a couple windshield wipers here, rocking from side to side before we move into half butterfly on the other side. So return back to center whenever you're ready, both legs out in front of you. And this time, take the left sole or the sole of the left foot to that right thigh, making that triangle-like tree shape. And if you want to stay up here, that's great. If you want to go a little further, begin to crawl forward over that right leg. So each side is going to feel different here. I know I definitely feel some more tightness in this right hamstring. And just surrender into the pose, letting the head drop and let the spine soften. Maybe getting a bit deeper into the pose with each breath. And slowly begin to crawl back up that right leg, taking your time. And again, keeping your legs in this half butterfly position. We'll take a twist whenever you're ready. So bring that right hand to the left knee. Reach the left fingertips behind you. And looking over that left shoulder. And breathe deeply into the twist. Just releasing that forward folding. One more breath here. And return back to center. Stretch that left leg out to meet the right. Maybe a couple windshield wipers here. And this time we'll all come to meet in a tabletop position. So getting there however you like. And once you're here, option to take some movement. Maybe you want to go for a couple cat-cows or make some circles with the body. Just listening to whatever the body is needing. And whenever you're finished with your movement, we'll come down onto our bellies to prepare for a Sphinx pose. So come down all the way onto your belly and place those forearms on the mat parallel with each other and look slightly forward with your gaze. So you're getting that kind of slide-like shape down your spine. And if you have a block, option to place that block underneath the forehead. Again, really nice for some grounding. If not, that's totally okay. And if Sphinx doesn't feel good to you, you can always just come down onto the mat and rest your forehead on those hands. So you're still getting that slight heart opening. And just find whatever position works best for you. Finding a place where you can be still. This can be an intense one to hold, so just try to focus on your breath. Try not to hold the breath in any way. And if you'd like to go a little deeper into the pose, you can begin to make your way into a seal pose. So drawing those hands diagonally to the corners of the mat and then pressing up so you're kind of in a cobra-like shape. And if you feel any pain in the lower back, any crunching, that's your sign to back off. Staying in Sphinx 2 is great. And we'll take a few more breaths here. Taking one more deep breath in and out the mouth as you begin to draw back down onto your belly. And we'll all meet with the hands underneath the forehead, using the hands as a pillow. And if you like, you can begin to draw that right hip or that right knee up in line with your right hip, just releasing the lower back. And we'll stay in this position or just resting on the belly for a few moments, really letting the effects of that pose sink in. And whenever you're ready, no rush at all, we'll press back up onto those hands. And maybe while you're up here, you want to take a little movement in your tabletop. And whenever you're ready, we'll return back to a seated position with the legs stretched out in front of us. So taking your time getting here, no rush at all. And let's prepare for a caterpillar pose or a seated forward fold. So again, you'll have both those legs stretched out in front of you. You can bend the knees as much as you like here. It's up to you. And whenever you're ready, reach those arms up to the sky and begin to fold forward over those legs. Maybe you grab the toes if that feels good. An option again to take a block or a couple blocks if you have them and place them in between those legs to rest your forehead on. Again, try to find a position where you can remain still. Try to round and soften the back. And slowly begin to crawl back up those legs. Really relaxing pose. So, really no rush. Take your time here. And we'll come to meet down on our backs. This time, hug the knees into the chest and rock a couple times side to side. Maybe keeping your eyes closed here. And once you're done with those, release the feet back down to the mat, and we're going to make our way into a supported bridge pose. So we will need a block for this pose. You can use a book, or if you don't have that, that's totally fine. And instead, you can come into a constructive rest with the two knees knocking together and the feet out towards the sides of the mat. But if you're going to come into that supported bridge, taking your block, start on the lowest height and lift those hips up and slide the block underneath the sacrum. So make sure it's not on the lower back, but underneath that sacrum area. And right here is great if you want some more opening alongside the front of the hips. You can stretch those legs forward, letting them go. And if you want even more, some opening in the shoulders and across the front of the chest, you can reach those arms up above you and grab hold of opposite elbows. So really find a position that works for you. And breathe deeply. And we'll take a few more breaths here. And if you have hold of opposite elbows, beginning to let that go. If your legs are outstretched, begin to bring them back down onto the mat. And then lift those hips up and gently remove the block. Draw those knees into the chest. An option to just stay here in some stillness or rock a little bit side to side. Listen to whatever your body is needing. And from here, we'll stretch those legs back out in front of us along on the mat. And we'll prepare for a Banasana. So reach the arms up above the head as well. And begin to shift the hips a little over to the left. And you want to keep both hip points on the ground here. Now draw those feet over to the lower right corner of the mat, and then the upper body over to that upper right corner of the mat. So you're in a banana-like shape here. If you'd like to go a little deeper, you can cross the left ankle over the right and grab hold of the left wrist with the right hand. Option 2, to take hold of opposite elbows if that arm positioning doesn't feel good, or just finding any position with the arms that work for you. So you're really getting a nice stretch along that left side body. And let the body relax. Let go of any tension remaining in the body. And we'll take a few more breaths here. If you have the ankles crossed, begin to uncross them. Let go of that left wrist and begin to make your way back to center. And we'll pause here for a couple moments before we move into that other side. So just notice how the body feels here. Feeling the difference between the two sides. And whenever you're ready, reach those arms back up above you. Shift the hips a little over to the right. And then bring those feet to the lower left corner of the mat, the upper body to the upper left corner, keeping those hip points down on the ground and returning to this banana-like shape. Option to cross the right ankle over the left and maybe grab hold of the right wrist with the left hand. Again, you can always take hold of opposite elbows or find any type of arm position that feels best in your body. And breathe into that stretch all the way down the right side body. Soften the jaw here. Soften any areas of tension. And we'll take a few more breaths on this side. And begin to uncross the ankles if you had them crossed, letting go of the wrist, and really slowly making your way back to center, letting those arms release back down to the mat. Pausing here for a couple moments. We're not in Shavasana quite yet, but hopefully you're feeling pretty relaxed. Now draw those knees into the chest, and we'll get into our last poses of class, which will be a couple of reclined twists. So whenever you're ready, begin to drop those knees over to the right and reach that left arm out into a T shape or a cactus shape. Maybe the right hand rests on the left thighs. And try to keep that left shoulder resting on the mat. And breathe into the twist. Maybe here from this point on, trying to keep those eyes closed. And whenever you're ready, begin to draw those knees back to center, pausing for a moment, and then making our way into that other side. So drop the knees over to the left, And reach that right arm out into a T shape or a cactus shape, trying to keep that right shoulder pressing down on the mat. And breathing deeply. We'll take a few more breaths here. And slowly draw those knees back into the chest. Maybe from here, you want to take some circles with the knees in one direction and then the other direction. And from here, taking any final movement or any final poses your body needs before we make our way into that final resting pose, Shavasana. So maybe you're craving a happy baby or a snail pose. Just listen to what your body needs. And whenever you're ready, no rush at all, begin to make your way into that Shavasana, lying flat on the mat, surrendering into the earth. And just notice the difference in your body now from the start of class. And feel the ground supporting you, really letting go and releasing into this resting pose. We'll close class lying on our backs here, so feel free to stay lingering. And we'll close with one breath. So exhale all the air out now. Take a deep inhale through the nose and a long sigh out the mouth. So definitely feel free to stay in Shavasana as long as you can and as long as you like. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you can go into the rest of your day feeling more relaxed and grounded. And if you would like to see more yin yoga practices like this, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you again next time.